2026 and the link is feeling cold. Stories of a super runner getting kinda old. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. Calling him uncoachable every single night. AJ in the tray, got me in my feels. Mr. Hollywood is the brownest on the field. Man, he ain't calling plays, I'll be searching for the spark. Eagles flying solo, hunting shadows in the dark. Prabo and Rossini trying to launch a master plan. Ever since the photos got you sitting with the fans. Draft day approaching, how we sitting on this perch. Gotta fill some holes so you know he's on the search. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Watching out for Cap cause your boy is bleeding green. Searching through the trending topics, info moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all.
What's going on, y'all? Oh, I didn't know you were still there. What's going on, man? We are live at lunch. You know the rules. Appreciate you being with me. I'm going to be here for about 45 minutes. Give you plenty of time to eat your food, wash your hands, and get back to work. You know how we do. What's up, Art? First out the limo, man. They saying Howie got fleeced for the lemon trade. How did Howie get fleeced? I don't understand how we got fleeced. If it was how you like the samurai? How did we get fleeced if it was our moving up to get the player that we want? I don't understand how we got fleeced. Don't put so much into the picks that we lost. That's one of those things where you got to wait until you see what happens with said picks. And also, at the end of the day, you have to see what happens to Makai Lemon. What happens if Makai Lemon is a good player? What happens if, the question is he going to be worthy of a first round pick? Because here's how you got to look at it. He dropped down the board a little bit. And clearly Pittsburgh was going to pick him. So if you want that guy, go get that guy, period. Go back and watch the Joe Banner interview. It's on YouTube. You can find it. I don't know who he's talking to. It may have been Zangaro or somebody. I can't remember. But Joe Banner was the GM when I was playing with the Eagles. He tells a story of draft day when they thought they were going to wait on Russell Wilson, and Seattle scooped them up, and they were surprised, and they didn't have a plan B really. But the point of the conversation was, if you see a guy that you want and you think somebody else is going to get him, don't wait until he drops to you. If you have an opportunity to go get that guy, go get him. That's why Howie did what he did. I ain't got no problem with that. Now, if he turns into another Nelson Aguilar or some other bust that didn't work out, okay, then you have a legit argument. But until we get to that place, Nelson Aguilar was not the best wide receiver in college football. So we have to see what this kid can do. We have to see what the offense is going to do with the talent we have on the field. So there's a lot of prerequisites that have to come down the pipe before we can make that opinion. There's some things that we got to see before you can even formulate an opinion on the kid. Because like I said before, I didn't even realize that there were some people that had him ranked over Carnell Tate. I didn't realize that. But at the end of the day, it's always subjective. Hindsight is 20/20. Absolutely, Panda. But there's still too many things that can happen with draft picks, with compensatory picks, all of that type of stuff. It is not a cut and dry transaction. You might not see the results of this until, I don't know, next year maybe. But for us, in my opinion, it only comes down to we got until week 6 or 7. If we get to week 6 or 7 and Makai Lemon is not catching balls because he doesn't know the offense or whatever the reason, then that's fair criticism. That's fair criticism of Howie. That would be fair criticism of Makai Lemon, where you could say, okay, maybe he was just not up to snuff or whatever. Because now you got a sample size. But what I am not going to do is jump on the bandwagon and crash out one way or the other based on nothing. I've not seen anything. I have seen too many players that were not ranked. You never heard about them. Went to a small school, all those things. I've seen so many players like that get into the league and then they blow it up. And then I've seen more players who went to USC, who went to Alabama, who went to Michigan, who went to Ohio State, who went to Notre Dame, who name your big school. There are more players that went to them big schools that had all the accolades, that got all SEC, ACC, Big Ten, got all of those accolades, played in the national championship game or played in the college playoffs, got drafted in the first 2-3 rounds, and they turned out to be hot garbage. Or at best, they turned out to be just a guy. Because the truth of the matter is there really a lot of guys that turn out like Devontae Smith? Wins the Heisman, comes out, undersized wide receiver, and he still does what he's been doing. How many times does that actually happen? Or do you have more players like Jalen Hurts? Alabama to Oklahoma. You know the story, gets benched, stays. He doesn't have the intangibles. He doesn't have the big arm. He's not tall enough. He's a running quarterback. All of the stuff that's a negative. And then he gets drafted in the second round as a backup. Then he gets thrust in as the starter. And what do they say? Well, we hopefully he can win a couple games and keep the momentum up until they find another solution. And then he keeps winning. And then he keeps winning. And then people say, "Ooh, I like him. I like his leadership. I like what he can do. I like he can do the things. He might not make all the throws, but he can make that throw. He can get the ball to that guy. He can. Wow, he's still winning games. Wow. Oh, they might go to the Super Bowl. Ooh, you outdueled Patrick Mahomes. I thought Patrick Mahomes was the best quarterback in the league. And second round pick that wasn't supposed to be a starter or a franchise quarterback. How many times do they pick the be all end all? I know it's bad and I shouldn't feel this way, but I'm just waiting to see what happens to Arch Manning. They jumped the gun big time on him. But here's the deal with somebody like that. They're going to give Arch Manning every opportunity in the world to fail, when the average person does not get that. The average person that might have more talent, have more everything but the name, they are not going to get a leash nowhere near as long. And this kid, I'm telling you right now, this kid going to get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. They're going to make sure that some way, somehow, this kid succeeds when other people who are arguably more talented will not get those opportunities. People will pass it up because they want the name rather than the player. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. So back to the original question. I don't care if one thing I say, let me go back to that first question from Art. Here's what I'll say. Who is they? Who is they? Who is they that are saying we got fleeced? Who is they? Is it just something that popped up on social media? And here's another thing. If we always get all this information from social media, from Twitter and YouTube, well, YouTube is not social media in my opinion. YouTube is just a platform. But when you're talking about social media and Twitter and Instagram and Blueski and all that other kind of stuff, Facebook, what How many likes or follows do you need to be considered a they? You know what I'm saying? How much traffic do you need to generate to be considered they? How much traffic do you need to generate where people will say everybody's saying that he ain't no good or this, that, the third? How much traffic do you have to generate? Is it 10,000 likes or dislikes, or does it have to be over 1 million before you consider to be the majority? And then when you think about the macro, when you think of the macro and how many football fans are out there, heck, let's not even say football. Let's not even say football. Let's say how many Philadelphia Eagle fans are out there that use Twitter? So if you get 100,000 people that like a post or repeat or follow a post or repost it or whatever the situation is, 100,000 out of way more than 1 million, way more than 1 million. So like, if you're getting something where you're getting 1% or less than 10% or something like that, and then that becomes the they, or that becomes the majority, or that becomes the fans, that small minority all of a sudden starts to represent the fans. That's how narratives get started. That's how they get started. You are absolutely right, Pat. You are absolutely right. Hell, I can still go back and talk about when everybody and their mama thought we should have drafted Ricky Williams. And Ricky Williams turned out to be a good running back. He didn't turn out to be as great as he was supposed to be coming out of school. He went to what, Texas? Ricky Williams was ridiculous in college. And then he gets to the league and, decides he wants to smoke weed and all that kind of stuff. And he was never he had moments, but he was never the dude that they thought he was going to be. Never. Look at the dude. What's the dude in with the Raiders now? Ashton Genty. They was quick trying to throw him to wanted to change his stance and all of that type of stuff. And it's like, that's what you worried about? See, it flips on both sides. Like, I like Ashton Genty, especially me, because I come from a 1AA school. He went to Boise State, if I'm right. Boise State used to be a 1AA school. So you in my neighborhood. And I know how they look at athletes and kids from that level. That's why I was such a fan of Reed Blankenship. He went to Middle Tennessee State. I played Middle Tennessee back when I was in school. Middle Tennessee, we used to battle Middle Tennessee State and Eastern Kentucky, Ohio Valley Conference. So I got love for them small schools, but people will say that all the time. So let me see. You can't deny that people were thinking that the price was a little too high to move up 3 spots. I don't know. What was the price? What was the price? And what did they do with them 4th round picks? And if we would have kept them, who are we going to get? And this is where I have to say all the time, like, listen, this is where you got to turn off the outside noise and you got to trust what Howie Roseman is doing, because Howie is playing chess. And even if he comes around somebody else that's also playing chess, Howie is playing 4D chess. He's on multiple levels, outsmarting everybody. Just when you think it was safe. So I know it looks like some things depending on somebody else's perspective, but their perspective is not ours. Their perspective is they might be looking and focusing on a different position for a different reason. You don't know what their salary cap situation is. There's a whole bunch of outside influence that goes on with making these picks. Every team is different. It's like if you go to 5 houses and you ask 5 grandmamas how to make their macaroni and cheese, you're going to get 5 different ways to do it. and you bet not act like you like one better than the other. The only answer is you like your grandmama's the best. You like your wife's the best. You like your mama's you know what I'm saying? I always think about that. Jalen Hurts did a thing where they was asking him about different foods and stuff like that. And he was like, Alejandro's cheesesteaks or your mama's barbecue? He was like, my mama's barbecue. Pat's Geno's or your mama's barbecue? My mama's barbecue. Like that's the default answer. So my point is that you always concentrate and worry about what you have in your kitchen. Can't worry about what everybody else is doing. Because guess what? Everybody else ain't been to a Super Bowl twice in 4 years. We have. So I'm only concerned with what we are doing and how we work, how our chef prepares the food. I want to see how Howie is cooking. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. So whoever they is, in my opinion, they is cousins with sources. Maybe they screwing Diana Rossini too. I don't know. So, exactly. Thank you, Tiff. That's the point I was trying to get to. They weren't our picks. So Howie is shuffling picks. And here's the one thing that people have to remember, because I don't know what team was it. What team was it in the draft that had like 9 picks in the draft? They had some ridiculous amount of picks, like 3 first-round picks. They had like 3 first-round picks. Like it was crazy. So what are you supposed to do? What if you got that many picks and you use all of those picks? Are you going to sign all of those players? That's the other part of this. What is the undercurrent of your financial situation for your team? What does that look like? That determines everything. Because if we giving away picks that we already had or compensatories that we got from a trade 3 years ago that we haven't turned around, like all of that stuff matters, man. So I don't give a damn what people think about our getting Makai Lemon. Well, if you thought we reached, okay, that's your perspective. That's your opinion. We got the guy that we wanted. If you could say the same thing, what happens if we reached and we would have got Kenyon Sadiq? It's still a reach. But at the end of the day, what's the difference between reaching and getting who you want? It's only a reach if whoever's looking at it from their perspective, if the guy that you got is not who you want. That's the reach. Pittsburgh reached. The guy that they got, could they have waited and maybe got him in the later round? I don't know. But the guy they wanted, we got. So who reached? They weren't prepared to get the plan B and get the guy that they got. That was the plan B. That was the consolation prize. And now they got to spin it like, yeah, we wanted you all along. Like, come on, it's too late for that. How you think that dude feels going into the Pittsburgh building? Like, and they sitting there lying in his face talking about, yeah, you were our first choice. No, the hell he wasn't. Come on, man. He know how the sausage is made. Stop. What's up, Ty baby? Even Markel Bell. I'm glad you said that. Even Markel Bell, right? What is going on with hold on for a second. Interesting. Uh-oh. If you guys can still hear me, this StreamYard interface is acting funky. I'm assuming y'all can still hear me, but I can't bring up other chats. It's like it's stuck. So I can't take one down. I can't take Ty. Well, Ty, baby, you up? I don't know what just happened. Hey y'all, hey, hold on for 1 second. Cause my machine just StreamYard just crashed. I gotta check in with the wife to make sure she didn't lose her internet because she works from home too. So I'll be right back. Be right back. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. Might just been soft. All right, we good. We good. I don't know what happened. StreamYard just was acting up, I guess. Let me see. What was I talking about? Yeah, I mean, just everybody has their different perspective where they're coming from, but it has nothing to do with what we got going on in our house. Period. That's it. So it is what it is. And I wanted to bring this up. I got my thing going. I see. I thought this was funny. First of all, Stephen A. Smith. Got to talk about the Sixers for a minute. We're gonna get back to the Eagles, but I wanted to address this because this is universal. This is about fandom. WNBA just started, and just like NFL, because I say this about y'all know I give my spiel. I'm kind of hot right now. There we go. I give my spiel about the fandom and reactions and everything in preseason. It's like pump your brakes. We haven't done anything yet. Pump your brakes. And I'm looking at the WNBA. Same thing's happening. Everybody's crashing out on some of the performances that they seen in the preseason. Everybody was actively trying to go at Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark had a mundane game. They were going after her. She had a 21-point game. Then she had like 7 points or whatever. And it was like this is a shortened season because of everything that happened with the CBA. And what are y'all expecting from preseason? If the information I just saw was correct, Haley Van Lith had a great couple of preseason games for Chicago, and I just saw a report that she got cut. I have not vetted that, so I don't know if that's true. But my point is that every sport, baseball, hockey, I remember what they was saying about the Flyers when they got this year started. Sixers, I was one that was like, I am not getting excited about the Sixers until I see them get past the first round in the playoffs. And here we are. And that's fair. Because I've seen Joel Embiid play great for 30 games and then get hurt for the rest of the season. And we missed the play. I've seen that show before. So all of this kind of goes under the umbrella of like when people saying we reached for a pick or this person's not going to be good or that trade is not going to add up. Like you have no earthly idea. I don't know what Dontavian Wicks is going to do. If his name wasn't Dontavian Wicks and you didn't know the history and all you saw was those clips of him working out, you would be like, oh, this dude looks pretty fast. How tall is he? How fast is he? We could use somebody like that if you take the name off the back of the jersey and you just watch. Do you like it or do you not like it? Is that something that could fit in what we're trying to do or not? It's that simple. It's that simple. Is Makai Lemon gonna be our kick returner now and punt returner. He does special teams and was pretty damn good at it too. Are we going to have some special plays in the mix for him? Like, what are we going to do with it? It's too many questions out here for people to just be throwing stuff to the wind about what we may or may not do, or if a pick is good or not. We have no idea. We have no idea. But everybody wants to start those narratives. They want to start them narratives, man. And it's like, I got a big thing about that, man. Like, shut up. I don't want to hear nothing like that, especially in preseason. Like, the thing that irritates me, and this is just my personal thing, is like, and it happens every year, and I say it every year, but it happens every year. And the first day of rookie camp, somebody got a video clip of Makai Lemon out there doing drills, and they talk about it like, oh my God, that was the best route running I've ever seen in my life from a first round pick. And I'm like, damn, all he did was do like quick feet drills. You chop your feet, you come through the cones, and then when you get through the last cone, they're going to throw you the ball. You make the diamond, look the ball in your hands, and turn and go upfield. That's what everybody does. But the fandom gets a hold of it and like, oh my God, though that was the best route running and the best catch I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, what the hell did you see? Everybody does it. Every team does the same thing. It is so infuriating me. So infuriating. And to some of y'all's point, Nelson Aguilar could do that too. All of those other people that are just a guy or don't really be, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside could do that too. You know what I mean? So that drives me nuts. And I'm like, just like, can we at least wait until we get to a proper preseason or a joint practice or the first preseason game, like something against some real competition, against real stakes, where somebody on the other side of the field has got real consequences on the line. So they're going to be playing you a little bit higher, tighter. They're going to be a little bit more handsy. It's not going to be buttoned up. They're going to try to knock your damn head off. All that type of stuff. That's when you really find out what you got over there. I can't wait till the first time I see Makai Lemon, the 4'5", 140 guy, shake a linebacker out of his boots, or make a DB turn his hips on the inside. Then he takes the deep slant to the out and gets the first down. Like, that's the stuff that I want to see. But we got to wait to see it. But everybody crashed out too early, man. Everybody crashed out too early. So but it is. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. It's a little bit too much. A little bit too much. It's like, relax, man. Relax. I was trying to see. Let me see. I thought I may have reposted. Nah, I didn't. Doesn't look like I did. I got Stephen A receipts. Yeah. I got this one video of LeBron flopping. So everybody talking about Angel Reese got used by Kiki Iriafen. Not for nothing. Here's a good segue. Here's a good where you can relate the two topics. So Atlanta played Washington. Kiki Iriafen from USC. Her second year with the Washington Mystics, and she was guarding Angel Reese. Now, you got enough people that hate on Angel anyways. I ain't got no problem with Angel. You don't like her me-bounds. My thing is stop her. And Kiki Iriafen kind of did. And I'm like, the one thing you gotta remember, Kiki Iriafen is Nigerian. And them Nigerian athletes got a mean streak. A mean streak. Christian Okoye, Arike Agumbawale, they got a mean streak. And the first thing I thought of, I was like, do y'all remember when Kiki Iriafen threw Sophie Cunningham across the court? And then looked at her like, what? What you gonna do? Like that girl got a mean streak and she ain't playing with nobody. So, but in any case, stuff like this, man, it's the same across the board. Doesn't matter if it's WNBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, whatever. So, what's up, Skywalk? I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate your appreciation, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But yeah, man, it's like it's across the board. It's like if it's your person, then they'll find a way to change the narrative to fit what you're doing. I like all of this stuff. Angel Reese, she has her ups and down moments. But everybody goes, if you hate Angel Reese, then it's like, ooh, look at that young girl using Angel Reese. And I was like, again, it's the same thing. It's a preseason game. Like I'm not expecting her to drop 30. I don't care about this. Now I want to see the regular season get started. So now we can let it play itself out. I'm still getting in arguments, and I tell y'all this all the time. I'm an Indiana Fever fan because of Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark. Kelsey Mitchell's from my high school. So I'm an Indiana Fever fan. And the same thing about Indiana, like I get Indiana Fever fans to get mad at me because I like some of the things that Angel Reese does. I got to give her props when she get all them double-doubles. I'm like, if the double-doubles wasn't that big deal, how come ain't nobody else doing it? How come you got veterans of the WNBA that's in their 4th and 5th year and getting their first double-double of their career? And this girl averaged a double-double in her rookie season. Like, so there's got to be something there. Like, so stop playing. So stop hating. So, and again, I correlate that all the same. To me, it's all the same. It's all about people's perspective, what they think they want, what they think they see based on their bias. We watch it every day. We watched it with Donovan. I watched it with Randall. Randall was my quarterback. You know what I mean? So it doesn't change. Doesn't change. Same game, different stadium, bro. Same game, different stadium. So I remember asking when all of the stuff when the stuff with AJ Brown was like, this was when Diana Rossini still had the job and everything. Every week it was like somebody had to give something with AJ and the whole thing about the sources, kept hearing about sources. And I remember I asked, I'm trying to get him on the show. So I'm waiting. I'm hoping he'll get back with me today. I reached out to Seth Joyner. Seth Joyner was my defensive captain. He was one of the defensive captains when I played with the Eagles, right? So I asked Seth straight up, I was like, bro, can you imagine what would have happened in the 90s if we would have found somebody snitching? Like running and telling the press everything that was going on inside can you imagine? Like, because it was we was built different back then. It was just a different time back then. And now that's like part of the information control. You control the drip. But it's just like, I can't even, like, dude, it's just ain't no way, man. Like, man, if they would have caught a snitch in the locker room, probably would have tried to beat the brakes off that dude. So, it is what it is, man. Yes, we're supposed to get a team in 2030. I think it's 2030. Yeah, Tiff. We on the same wavelength. Yes. Y'all remember that not too long ago, it was a bunch of people trying to figure out what they were going to call the team. They actually wanted to call them the Philly Johns. So 2030. And I'm excited because as somebody that's a fan of the WNBA, I'm excited. So I'm trying to do more women's sports on my channel. Usually I do that on my Pro Fan Hoops channel because I really don't cover the NBA. I had to do a video on the Sixers the other day. I went live after the Sixers won. Shout out to Tiff because she was like, "Hey, we about to win. You got to go live, coach." I was like, "Okay." But normally I don't watch the Sixers. Well, no, let me say it like this. I watch the Sixers. I don't follow them. Like I follow the Eagles. So I could tell you stats and I I could go in depth with you about games and game plans and things of that nature. I don't do that with the Sixers. Who playing? Who starting? Did Embiid play? Oh, he hurt again. I'm very from a distance when it comes to the Sixers. I'm happy because that's a Philadelphia team winning. Same thing with the Flyers. I used to be more involved with the Flyers a couple years ago, and it just kind of fell off. Now they in the playoffs, so you pay attention. Rick Tocchet. I remember when Rick Tocchet was playing for the Flyers. So I couldn't tell you the last time I went to a Flyers game. So yeah, that's just the way that it goes. But yeah, not the Philly Johns. That was funny. So, but yeah, you just keep it going, and hopefully they'll get the team in Philly, and I'll definitely get some tickets as support because I like them, man. I like the W, like to see what they're doing, and I want to see them grow and get paid their money. However, now that they got their money, everybody getting a little. They trying to act new because they getting all of this criticism and they finding out the dark side of the fame. And I always say, welcome to mainstream. This is what you get when you mainstream. This is what you get. So, it comes with the territory. This is what comes with that big ass price tag. This is what comes with the $1 million checks. You can't tell you can't tell social media they got to shut up and stop talking about me and stop being stands and racist fans and all of that. You can't say that. You either turn it off or you deal with it. And clearly, most of the people, especially with these young kids now just getting into the league, they don't know how to turn off social media, so they have no concept of how to ignore it or avoid it. It's funny how now the big thing, and this is all sports, NFL football, basketball, what do they do when they want to let the organization know that they're unhappy? They take all of their branding off of their social media. They take I'm removing all my Eagles gear off my social media. I'm removing all of my LA Lakers stuff off my social media. You won't even know I played for the Lakers. And I'm like, what is that? What is oh darn, you won't wear my shirt anymore. It's like at the end of the day, man, it's like this is business. Business is business, friends is friends. Do not confuse the two. And a lot of these kids, because of social media, they want a bunch of friends and a bunch of yes men to just tell them how cool they are, how pretty they are, how cool that dunk was, all of that type of stuff. But a lot of these young kids, like getting into the league now, they stupid. They get all this NIL money. Still ain't nobody taught them how to handle their money yet. Shout out to Primetime for at least making that public. We gonna put you in the financial literacy class because y'all get money that we didn't have when I was in college. So, it is what it is. It's just a different time. This is a different landscape. And the athletes are still making the same mistakes. That's the funny part. It's different. It looks different. The money is more. You got all these different, you got a brand new city. What my landscape, looked like is different than what these kids are looking at now. But the game is the same. It's like how you go about things is the same. The only difference is you can just got more eyes on you. And a lot of these kids now, they bring the shit on themselves. They bring the shit on themselves. You know what? I will say this, because again, this is about like Angel Reese. I remember Angel Reese, her rookie year, she had it. This is the after practice or something. She had something to the effect that people just need to understand that it's not just one person that's bringing eyes to the league. And I remember when she said that, and the first thing I said was like, I was like, why you have to say that? Because that's like, to me, this is how I took it. That's like the pretty girl in the class, angry that nobody told her she was pretty. Like everybody always knew, everybody already know you fine. We know that. But now you want everybody to say it. And it's like, that's not a good look, in my opinion. Now you getting in conceited. Now you getting into the jealousy and the petty and all of that type of stuff. That's just my opinion on it. And it's not a good look. But eventually you're going to get there anyways. And that is why I always say you got to let things play themselves out, because it will the truth is going to bubble up. Just let it play itself out. The truth will eventually bubble up. Derby, listen, I saw the clips from the Derby. Let me be honest with you. The Kentucky Derby always brings back memories for me, because in school, when I was at Eastern Kentucky, my girlfriend at the time went to University of Louisville. So I was down at Louisville all the time, and that was 45-minute ride, hour ride. So Eastern Kentucky, University of Kentucky, Kentucky State, which was a HBCU, and University of Louisville, U of L, they are all about an hour away from each other, depending on which way you going. So EKU was the big party school. So everybody would come up to Eastern Kentucky for our parties, our frat parties. And when the Alphas was throwing a party, everybody was up there. When the Qs was throwing a party, everybody was up there, because the DJ for the parties was Alpha. So we was all of the frats was represented on the football team. So everybody was cool with everybody. You didn't have Qs wasn't beefing with Sigmas. Sigmas wasn't beefing with Alphas. You know, it wasn't like that. The only beef we had on campus one time, and it was an isolated incident, was with some of the Kappas was messing with one of the dudes on the football team. And it was about to get ugly. But they didn't want that smoke, because it wasn't the dude that used to be on the football team that was a Kappa. He was graduated. He was still in school, but he wasn't on the team no more. So they didn't want that smoke. But we had harmony on our campus, because we had Qs, Alphas, and Sigmas. And when I got into college, Sigmas ran the yard. By the time I graduated, Alphas ran the yard, because, you know, Alphas had most of the guys on the football team, and I was the star. So, but my point is that, you know, Derby, we would all go down to Derby. Derby was where the parties were. So everybody went down. I went to Derby like 5 years in a row, never actually went to the Derby. Nobody goes to the Derby. You go to the parties around the city, because that's what always was popping. And every now and then you would have the guys from UK. All the basketball players would come from UK. And then you have football players from all around, guys from U of L that went to the league and all that kind of stuff. You would see them at, just like you saw Coop, at the actual Derby. Nobody actually went to the race. Some of my frat brothers, they go to the race now, because now they married and they show up in their suits and all of that kind of stuff. Look like they go into Easter Sunday church. And they do that now, but we never did that while we were in school. In school, we just went to the parties in and around it, because it was lit. It was lit. So, Western Kentucky, okay. Okay, Western Kentucky, those were our mortal enemies. Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. But yeah, man. Yeah. Anyone going to check out the Met Gala tonight? How about no? Nah, that's not in my wheelhouse tonight, Linda. I'm gonna skip that one. So, but in any case, all right, man. I'm about to land this plane. Time to get back to work. But and not for nothing else, man. Just before I land, just a reminder, like, you looking at the WNBA, let's get at least 10 games in before we start cracking opinions and lists. Right? Let's see what everybody, at least give me 6. You know, my personal rule is, let me get 10 games in before I form an opinion about anything I'm seeing. Before I say this person sucks, this ain't no good, they're not working together, I got to give it at least 10 games in. Right? That's just me. I would ask anybody else to give it at least 5 or 6 games before you form an opinion. Same thing with the football, the NFL stuff. Just relax and pump your brakes on what you think somebody looked like in rookie camp. No opinions until we see them do some real work in real training camp. and then preseason games. And then after that's over, I make it a point. I have no opinion on my Philadelphia Eagles until week 4 going into week 5. That is my rule. Because it's going to take you at least 4 weeks to see what type of trends and what type of offense we're running, and which plays are we always seeing, and how are we using motion, how is the offensive line blocking, what does our defense look like, how are we going to look on defense with the Kobe Dean gone, who's going to be starting at safety, is it Drew Makuba, are they going to put Epps back there? Like, we got a lot of questions to answer that's only going to be answered when they start playing. So I just like to wait and watch it, take my notes, watch film. Let me say that again, watch film of at least 4 to 5 games before you start forming an opinion. That's just me. All right, y'all, I got to land this plane. And I promise I am going to land this plane without hitting a freaking truck on the highway. I saw that. If y'all didn't see that, check it out on YouTube. It was crazy. Dude was just driving the truck. I don't know if he's making deliveries or what he was doing, but the plane flew over the highway and the wheel hits his truck and damn near takes the dude out. Crazy. But all right, I got to get out of here, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Monday. I will be on tonight at 9 o'clock. I will let you know about Seth Joyner. I am efforting to get him on the show so we can talk about the aftermath of the draft. So, and I got some other things coming, and I will keep you posted. But if not, I will see you all later on tonight. Thank you again to my man that joined the squad and joined my team with the subscribe. I appreciate you. And I will see y'all in the next one, man. We got a lot of stuff going on, man. It's starting to ramp up. It's coming faster than you think. Much faster than you think. All right? Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, and I will talk to y'all tonight. Peace, and go Birds.
Yeah. Yo, 2026 and the link is feeling cold. Stories of a super runner getting kinda old. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. Calling him uncoachable every single night. AJ in the tray, got me in my field. Mr. Hollywood is the brownest on the field. Man, he ain't calling plays, I'll be searching for the spark. Eagles flying solo, hunting shadows in the dark. Crable and Rossini trying to launch a master plan. Ever since the photos got you sitting with the fans. Draft day approaching, how we sitting on this perch. Gotta fill some holes, so you know he's on the search. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Watching out for Cap, cause your boy is bleeding green. Searching through the trending topics, info moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Pro fan talk. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Pro fan talk. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover